Hi, Nick Muller here, and welcome back. Thanks for tuning into my video. So I want to talk with you a little bit about getting the right people on the bus. And everybody talks about getting the right people on the bus, but what we're actually trying to do, what we're trying to accomplish is increase the standards of conduct in your culture. Okay, so the funny thing about the wrong people on the bus is that they generally have an undermining connotation to their conduct, right? And they can also be highly manipulative and discredit other people, don't play a team game, all the things that drive employers up the wall. And so conversely, the signature to listen for having the right people on the bus is that these people are willing to be accountable. They discuss problems with you, but they don't make the problem your problem. They own their problem. They own their role. They own the task. They like accountability. And the reason they're willing to be accountable is because accountability sets them free, okay, and it keeps them away from the other people that would tear them down and take credit for their successful implementation of projects or their work. Okay, so you've got the wrong people and the right people. And when you've got the right people on the bus, the culture increases in terms of standards of conduct. Okay, when you've got the wrong people on the bus, the standards of conduct go down to you get to the point where it becomes frustrating and demoralising for the right people when they leave. Okay, so we don't want that to happen. So how do we circumvent that from happening? And there's a very simple system, that a series of systems that when they go together, they actually isolate the wrong people and they make their life quite difficult, okay, without having to give them warnings. They may have to get off the bus if they're not going to change their ways. But what we want to do is we want to actually polarize the business so that the right people are at one end, you've got everybody in the middle, and they're starting to move towards becoming the right people, and then the wrong people want to get off the bus. Okay, so that's the process that we go through, and there's a series of systems that allow us to do this. I'll give you a little bit of an inside view of one of those systems. So what we do is we look at values versus skills. So if we have a -10 for values, up to a +10 for values, we also then have a -10 for skills and a +10 for skills. So the thing about that is if we plot people, we would actually say that, say Mary, she's got great attitude, good values, and she's got pretty good skills. So we'll give her a 7 out of 10 and a 7 and a 7. She's going to stay, right? And let's say little Johnny, he's got a pretty good attitude, but his skills aren't there yet. He's a -6 for skills, but he's got pretty good attitude. So he's either got to improve, train. So it's train, transfer, or terminate, okay, if they can't increase their competency in that level. So often transferring or redeploying little Johnny's skill set to another role can be a great way to keep them on board, because having the people with the right values is more important, potentially, it is more important than necessarily having all the right skills and someone with a crap attitude. So then if we look at values and we go, okay, so little Stevie, he's got crap values, but he's got pretty good skills. He's a 7 out of 10 in skills, but he's a -6 for attitude. We've got a problem. Okay, so we actually need to get his attitude up to here. So it's either change or leave. Okay. And if we've got somebody down here, and so that's actually quite a difficult decision. And if we've got someone down here that's got crap attitude, doesn't embody the company values, and doesn't even have a good skill set, it's a pretty easy decision, right? It's a no-brainer. And So that's one of the processes that we can use on an ongoing basis to increase the standards of conduct in our business. So we should actually use this as a KPI for ourselves. If we're sitting in a general manager seat, then that's our job. If we have a general manager, then that's their job, or a CEO, or whatever. Ultimately, one of the KPIs, and this can be, I've seen it in a matrix situation, work really, really well to gradually increase the conduct and the standards and the level of collaboration in a culture. Okay, so one other thing I'm going to talk about a little bit, just briefly, is the frame. Okay, so what I'm talking about with the frame is that there are a series of structures and processes, soft structures, that if you put them into place, they enable the business to carry the performance, okay, and not you, the owner. Okay, so what I'm saying is that you have your strategic plan, you have the right people on the bus, or if you don't have all of the right people on the bus yet, you have a system in place that's going to increase the culture and the performance over time and weed out the wrong people and bring on the right people with a really good recruiting process that makes sure that you get A players on the bus and that you don't hire in disguise C players. With the right people on the bus, the right frame, people willing to be accountable and KPIs in place, then we can actually start to move the business forward and focus on what we're really here for, is to grow the business and reach a point where the business is independent of us as the owner. Look forward to talking to you soon. Cheers.